Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Myself Dr. Meera from Department of Library Information Science, University of Delhi. Today we are going to talk on information literacy programs at University of Delhi. Information literacy and competency is the ability to identify information needs, seek out resources to meet those needs and then analyze, evaluate, synthesize and communicate the resulting knowledge. It is a core instructional pedagogy in higher education. The role of ICT development in program in the context of a teaching library intended to encourage and facilitate the lifelong learning to the students. In order to empower students, the library professionals aim to teach them the skills for identifying, locating and evaluating the information. Among many other things, information literate students are competent, independent learners. They know their information needs and are capable of actively engaging in the world of ideas. They are confident in their ability to solve the problems, find out the information and use that information efficiently, effectively for their research purposes. So students, let's see what we are going to learn from this module. With the help of this module, you would be able to understand the information literacy initiatives of Central Library, University of Delhi. You would be able to find out the areas and scope of information literacy programs being provided by Central Library. You will be able to find out the contents of information literacy programs provided to different types of users and to know and identify the different methods and tools for providing the information literacy programs to the users. And in the last, you would be able to explore how web-based and multimedia information literacy programs has been developed by the Delhi University Library System for their different types of users. Information literacy is a key component in the development of students as an independent learner. It also contributes to the ability of a student to work confidently with information and the IT tools and to develop essential critical thinking skills. These are all essential attributes of modern graduates and the modern employee. The new graduate must not only have socialist knowledge in their field, but also have a range of generic competencies required to participate in a workplace subject to constant change, the skills to continue learning throughout a professional lifetime. Information literacy helps everyone to be competent enough in looking for the information, using the information and publishing the information socially as well as ethically. Let's see how the information literacy can be defined. American Library Association has defined information literacy as: to be information literate, an individual must recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate and use effectively the information needed. The skills implied by this definition requires an understanding of, amongst the others. What you need to understand through the information literacy program is that what are the different resources available in and around you, how you can find the information available near your library or the collection that you are having, the need to evaluate the results, the finding that you have, and how to work with or exploit the results from the using information, and how you can ethically and the responsible way you will use the information for your research and the academic purposes. With the help of this, you would be able how to communicate or share your findings with the academic world, and you will be able to manage your findings, research and the development activity with the help of these tools and techniques which you have learned through the information literacy programs. What we have understand with the concept of information literacy, so the information literacy leads to, if you are information literates, the individual, you would be able to determine the extent of information needed, means what you need, how you need, what is the purpose of the information that you're needing. Then you would be able to access the needed information effectively and efficiently with the best known methods and the technology, searching techniques. You would be able to evaluate information and its sources critically in order to understand its reliability, relevance, and the purpose of that information for which you are using. You would be able to incorporate selected information into his or her knowledge base that leads to the publications of the article, writing the books, reporting your article to the academic world. You will be able to use information effectively to complete a specific purpose for whatever the purpose that has been assigned to you, and for whatever the purpose you have used this information for your project work, class work, teaching, research. With the help of this, you would be understand the economic, legal, and the social issues surrounding the use of information and access and the use of information ethically and legally. This play an important role as the usage of information as economic, legal, and the social way, because whatever you are using, you must acknowledge the information which you have used from the other sources, and whatever you are going to produce in the academic environment has to be reported significantly, keeping the impact of that information to the other. That is what being termed the social, legal, and the social issues related with the information. Now we will see why do we need this information literacy programs at the library in a different way. Information literacy and communication skills that are required in our day-to-day activities to drive, analyze, evaluate, and use information are currently known as information literacy. Every day something new comes and previous methods are discarded in the favor of the new one. So it is therefore necessary for us to keep up with the new technology of information literacy, to be updated, through, and aware. Information literacy concerned with the educating and providing training to the users as well as the library professionals to enable them to make maximum use of library collection as well as the tools, services, various arrangements, rules, ethics of the library. The literacy programs imparted by the library staff to its user is meant to help them to acquire library skills, awareness about the library, and the ability to have quick access to the library tools and the resources available in the library. So information literacy is central to the whole purpose of the library and the effective utilization of the information resources. Library information literacy program being provided by the library is applicable to every walk of life and needed for every field of the research study. See how information literacy program is needed in the different types of library for the different types of users. The first one, to understand the variety of content and the formats of information. As you already knowing, this is because of the unprecedented amount of literature available over the net as well as in the printed format, it becomes very hazardous task for the libraries to find out the information easily for the users. To understand standard system for the organization of information, because of the unprecedented growth of this information, every user, either it's a teaching, scholar, or the normal day-to-day user, needs some tool and technique so that they can organize the information in a proper way. Third one, to develop the capability to retrieve information from a variety of systems in various formats, successfully navigate within the library. It means that every user and the library must know what are the different types of organization systems and how they can best retrieve these information from different electronic as well as the print sources of information like databases, bibliographic resources, as well as the articles in the journals. The fourth one, to develop the capability to organize and manipulate information from various access and retrieval purposes. So you must have a skill how the information can be used, reused, retabulated for the purpose for which you are using the information. Every user has a different purpose and different information needs in order to pursue their research work. So the capabilities or the skills to make use of this information is necessary and mandatory for everyone as for the usage of the information is concerned. To write correct bibliographic citations for book, journal article and the conference paper, this particular part is very important for every user or the scholar or the faculty, as whatever we are writing or using the information from different sources and the types of sources of information has to be acknowledged in the text that we are producing. So how to write the different types of bibliography with the help of different citation style is very important, and how to quote the works of different authors in your work and how to acknowledge their work that you are using in your work is very important in order to get rid of the concept of plagiarism. The last, to use a bibliographic file format management package to organize, download, citations and the personal file of the references. Since the amount of data for individual users is also very huge, everyone needs to understand the different citation and the references bibliographic management files in order to organize the information whatever you are having, so that the later on if you need any file, if you need any paper for the reuse or again you want to use, you should be able to make use of that file available in your system or organized in a different software which are providing help to the user in order to manage the bibliographic records. Reference work, Mendeley are some of the examples which are being used by the scholars to manage their bibliographic records. Now we will see the different methodology for providing the information literacy programs used by the Delhi University Library System. The most common methods used by the library system is lecture, workshop, online tutorial and the multimedia tutorial. Now lecture is the most common method used for providing the information literacy programs. This method is being used for general users in different colleges in the north and the south campus of Delhi University. Users are also given lecture CD and the written materials along with this. Now workshop. Annual workshops are being organized for the subject specific information literacy programs for PG students and the research scholars. For library professionals and the faculty members too, annual workshops being organized by the Delhi University Library System. Online tutorial, you can have the links to this tutorial also, or this system has created an online tutorial for the users which can access 24/7 throughout the DULS website. Multimedia tutorial, this is an interactive mode of providing the information literacy tut to the users through the help of multimedia facilities. The structure of the information literacy programs at Delhi University Library System. Based on the different types of users, Delhi University Library System has three user-based programs for their different types of users. Information literacy programs for the general users, where the objectives and the purpose of this program is meant for those users which are not much aware about the library sources, resources and the collection. So they are being oriented in order to make them aware about the different types of collection services available in the library, so that they can maximum utilize the information resources and services of the library. The second type of program, which is specifically meant for the special user, meant keeping in view the objectives of serving those users which are postgraduate and research scholar as well as the PhD. This program further have three different segments. One for the PG students, second for the research scholar as well as the faculty members. Since these three categories have a different information needs needed for the different purposes, as the faculty needs for the research and development activity, scholars needs for their research programs, PhD program they are conducting, and the PG students need these kinds of program in order to complete their ongoing education as well as the projects they are handling. The third type of program is specifically meant for the LIS professionals. This program was designed keeping in view, since the professionals has to conduct the information literacy program for their users, they themselves need to be trained in order to understand the different tools and techniques that coming up in the library field to provide the information sources, resources to the users. So this program has been basically confined to the Delhi University library system professionals and being given training so that they can be competency can be developed within them and they can impart the education to the users of different types. Now let's see the objectives for general user information literacy programs. Information literacy and competency program in Delhi University library system has been initiated with the following objectives for the general users. The objectives of this program is to acquaint the users with the power of internet, to provide an indication as to what is there on the internet related to their course of study so that they can use the information available over there for their research, for their study purposes, to show how web resources could be of immense use in their academic pursuit and research, to show the usefulness of various multimedia resources on web related on their syllabi, so that their study can be supported by the different information available in the multimedia as well as the web resources format. To promote that information competency is for participants, academic and vocational successes and for the lifelong learning. With the help of this, they would be understand where to search the information, how to use the information, how to use the information for their study and research purposes, which ultimately leads to the lifelong learning for them. The next one, to provide the course integrated instructions in collaboration with the faculty and in alignment with the course objective. This particularly has been designed keeping in view the different needs at the different level of the user group. The part and the parcel of the program which is integrated with their course structure, they part in the program in order to understand the different services collections of the library and the services being given to them in order to support their study. The last, to establish a direct interaction between the users and the library professionals. This leads to a good relation between the users and the library professionals, and that ultimately enhance the usage of the library and keep a good reputation of the library among the library users, as library professionals help them in finding their information, locating their books and helping them in their different types of projects at the different level. Objectives for the special user information literacy programs. The programs which is designed for the special users or the experts user has the following objectives. To know about the different publication types, books, journals, newspaper, and to differentiate between the popular and academic sources and the resources. To educate the users on how to formulate an effective search strategy, which is very important for the specific or the special kinds of user like a research scholar as well as the faculty members. Because if you don't know how to conduct a particular search, it's very hard to find the relevant piece of information from the resources, either online, either the print. To be able to perform a successful search using a relevant library database, with the help of this, every user would be able to understand which particular database is relevant for them and what are the different types of searching facility and searching strategy is available with that particular database. So with the help of that, they would be able to use the information available in the database very efficiently and effectively. Next, to understand the tools and the techniques to be able to evaluate search results. This helps the user in order to identify the relevant piece of information available in different types of open as well as paid access resources. So if you understand what is good for you, if you understand what is relevant for you, with the help of evaluating techniques, you would be able to find it out. To understand how to cite and use references of sources used, to describe a specific feature of various databases being subscribed by DULS and to promote their usage in academic research. So with the help of this objective, DULS is trying to explain the different types of resources in form of databases in different disciplines available to the different types of users. And with the help of that, if the users are aware about the different sources useful for them, they are going to use that information for their academic and the research purpose. Ultimately, this will lead to the usage of library resources and the services. Next, to acquaint the users with the use of various searching techniques to retrieve the relevant information. Within this objective, the library is trying to make aware the scholars and the faculty members what are the different searching techniques are available with respect to different databases, as well as in general way, so that the users can search the information efficiently, either with the basic search, advanced search, free text search, keyword search. All these types of search techniques are being taught to them and make them aware how they can make use of these techniques in retrieving the relevant information from the specific databases useful for them. Not the least, but to recognize the need for information and to evaluate, organize, interpret, and communicate information in all its formats, which leads to ultimately the best use of information which is available, and to use that information for the research and academic purposes for which it has been meant. Let's see the objectives for training the trainers of information literacy program. DULS has a different set of programs for the LIS professionals. The name has been given is training the trainers, as LIS professionals provides the trainings to the different users group. So they also need to be trained in order to develop the competency and skills for providing the information literacy programs. The basic objectives are to acquaint the university and the college library professionals with the academic power of internet and how it could be of immense use in academic pursuit and research. To show the usefulness of various multimedia resources on web in teaching, learning and research. To describe specific features of various databases being subscribed by the University Library System and to promote their usage. By knowing that, they would be in a better position to help the users in searching the databases, downloading and retrieving the different types of relevant information from these sources of information. To acquaint the university and college library professionals with the use of various search techniques to retrieve relevant information. If they understand the different searching techniques and searching tools, they would be in a better position to teach the same thing to the users. And in providing the information and having the training and the skills to this area of knowledge will ultimately enhance their capabilities to handle the user's information needs, which is nowadays very varied and response based. To recognize the need of information and to evaluate, organize and interpret and communicate information in all its formats. To promote that information competency is for participants, academic and vocational success and for lifelong learning. By providing the training to the librarians, it will ultimately enhance their capabilities in order to provide the users information and their meeting out their information needs, as well as their personal and professional development and for their lifelong learning. Next, to provide research integrated instructions in collaboration with the faculty and in alignment with the research objective. If you are trained enough, if you are skilled enough, you would be in a better position to integrate yourself with the different research oriented programs in collaborations with the faculty and the department, so that they can be given the best information needed in a best time. To explain the necessity of bibliographic citations and its usefulness. Citations, citing the reference and the sources of information which one's use, is very important in nowadays. In order to get rid of the question of plagiarism, everybody need to understand what is a bibliography, how it is being cited and how it can be used in the text when somebody writes. So understanding of different citation style manuals like MLA, APA, Chicago is very important for the library people also, so that they can transfer the same knowledge to the users of the information. The last but not the least, to promote the use of standardized editions of bibliographic references. So the one particular standard can be used in one particular format and a standard can be maintained. Now see the different types of information literacy contents being made for different types of users. The DULS program has 3 different types of user for which they have designed or developed 3 different types of contents. The first one, information literacy content for the general user, information literacy content for the special users, and information literacy contents for training the trainers. Let's see what are the different types of contents being given to different types of user based on the different objectives they have. Contents for general users. This particular program has defined contents for the general purpose users. This contains introduction to entire Delhi University library system with a special emphasis to the libraries attached to their course of study and with a special reference to their various collection services and the facilities. Need of information in teaching, learning and research. Introduction to various information sources like printed information sources and electronic information sources, the advantage and the disadvantage of both the information sources, so that every user should be able to understand the different types of sources of information and their significance in the different usage pattern like primary sources, secondary sources, tertiary sources. Understanding of these sources and the advantages and the disadvantages of these sources of information. Introduction to information sources available through quick reference sources and the full text sources available in public domain. This provides or train the users what is available with the quick reference, which contains the different types of reference sources being subscribed by the libraries, and the full text sources available in the public domain. So whatever available publicly, how that can be searched, located, downloaded, this is all being taught in this particular part. Next, the introduction to subscribed databases and their features, how to access these resources. So users are being trained, introduced, trained, and the usage of these different types of databases and how to use the resources available within them. So different types of group of users based on the discipline you can have, based on the user group you can have, they are being just introduced about what are the different types of databases available in that area of knowledge. The various kind of search and searching strategy, basic and advanced search, phrase search, proximity search, Boolean operators, field search, use of control vocabulary, limited, refining, narrowing of search, all these fundamental form of searching strategies and techniques are being taught at this particular part. Introduction to Google and Zero Plus. So general introductions are being given to unique electronic databases, over 150 well-established reference sources including encyclopedia, general encyclopedia, subject dictionary, biography, so that the users would be able to understand what are the different types of reference sources available in the library in print as well as the electronic format and how they can use this information for their study and research purposes. And the last, that is referencing and the citation style. The introduction to what is a reference, what is a referencing, and what are the different style systems are being introduced at this level. So this is common for every types of user, that they should know what is a reference, why to cite, and how to cite. Contents for special users or expert users. Introduce different types of information sources and their use, primary, secondary, tertiary types of sources, periodical, article, referee, journalist, college, and all these types of sources should be introduced to the user so they can understand what types of sources are there and what is the significance type of information they are providing. Find material using discovery tools and renew and request material. So there are a number of databases available and everyone has to access to each and every database to find the information. Now the publishers of the electronic resources are providing the discovery tool so that Individually on one window, a user can search the information and find out any relevant piece of information available in any database. So that actually reduces the time of searching for the users, and it also gives much more information to the users as discovery tool has access to more than one database at one particular time. Nimbus is being used by the Delhi University Library System for this particular purpose. So next is introduce subject-specific electronic resources, search techniques for the database searching like Boolean operator, phrase, field specific. At this stage, it has to be given in elaborated form. So every databases with a specific search technique, searching facility has to be introduced individually to each and every user group. So workshop level, these kinds of programs are being provided so that the user have hands-on practices in searching the information and locating the information. Next, use databases to find article and other primary and secondary sources. Whatever the databases are being subscribed by the DULS are being given training to the user so that they can equip themselves in order to access these databases. Introduce criteria for evaluating information and find and evaluate information available on the World Wide Web. Whatever is available on the net or the World Wide Web is not relevant for everyone. So what is relevant has to be judged with the help of some of the criteria which has to be taught to the special user so that they can judge the quality of information, relevance of information and the reliability of information when they are going to use that information for themselves. So different criteria: authority, reputation, reliability, relevance, objectives, purpose has to be taken account while choosing the information to be used by users. Next, avoid plagiarism. Introduce citation style for a specific discipline like APA style for the social science discipline. Chicago is very common in the sciences. Every system has a different, sometimes have a different style of citation, citing the references also. So every group of user like sciences, humanities, social sciences, or you can have the physics, chemistry, math, biology also, they can be trained in one particular type of citation style and how to cite the information that they are using so that the plagiarism can be avoided and the originality of the article can be maintained. The last, use of reference works to handle references and the bibliographies. At the research scholar level and the faculty level, the information available with the scholar is too much to handle it. For this particular purposes, every database is giving the facility of searched history and the references to be researched again when you log in again. Apart from that, there are different reference management tools are coming like reference work, Mendeley, that can be used for handling your references and the bibliography what a scholar or the faculty is using. If you need the information later on and the information is organized, you would be able to find the information easily. So reference works, Mendeley is used for this particular purposes. Contents for training the trainers means the content for the library and information professionals. Use of libraries, different types of libraries, information center, their resources, services, facilities. Understand research process means the research needs, topic, search strategy, search, evaluation, citation and information cycle. How means that how this information is being generated, how the information is being used, how the whole information cycle goes on. If the library professional understand, it will be easy for them to serve the users in a better way. Understand economic, legal, social issue involved in finding and using the information ethically. What is information, how we are going to use, what is the significance of that information piece meant is very important for the LIS professionals also, because all the users, either they are general or the special, they come to the library in order to make use of the information, and they must be taught, they must be trained how the information has to be used and how the information has to be cited. If the professionals are aware about that one, plagiarism or the concept of use of referencing citation style, they would be in a better position to pass on this information to their users. Recognize plagiarism and use of correct citations, reference work, Mendeley like kind of reference sources. So if the trainers are understand these concept, citations and the referencing tool, it would be easy for them to train the users so that they can get rid of the concept of plagiarism and they can provide the information in the better way. Find material using discovery tool and library catalog like keyword, control vocabulary, subject searching, Library of Congress numbers, university user and other library catalog. Means how the different types of discovery tools are available, how the different types of information can be searched with the help of discovery tool, what are the different types of catalog the library is having or catalog that are available on the web, which can be used by the professional in order to search the information to provide the information to the users. Use of e-books collection like free or e-text, whatever the collection that you are having, how you can access those e-books, how you can download those e-books, how you can provide this information to different users groups. Same way, use of e-journal collection, use of different databases. If you know as a professional that how that can be accessed, used, downloaded, shared, it will be easy for you to provide the information to the users to whom you are serving. Search information on the web means how to find the information available on the World Wide Web. So if you know the searching strategy, if you know the searching techniques, different types of subject gateways, search directories available on the net, it will be easy for you to serve your user in the better way. And this can also be passed on to the users so that they can search the information from themselves and be a lifelong learner for searching the information. The last, not the least, but evaluation of information for relevance, currency, and the reliability. Means how the information, relevant information, current information, reliable information can be located from the available sources of information. You know, internet is providing all sort of information, right or wrong both. And being an information professional, you need to understand which information is relevant to be used by you and which information is not relevant and should not be used by you. So if they understand, they can easily train their users in order to make the efficient and effective use of information available either in the public or in the paid domains. Delhi University library system has a different and decentralized libraries. Based on these, they have a different users group to be served by them. At the college level, they are having undergraduates, and the PG level, the department level, they have postgraduate scholars and the faculty level. So the users have a different needs at the different level of education what they are pursuing. So information literacy programs designed by the Delhi University library system has different structure based on the users information need what they are serving at the college level, department and the faculty level. The information literacy programs designed by the Delhi University library systems have three basic structure and the three basic groups on which they have designed this particular programs. So based on the undergraduate level or the general user, they have 1 point program. Based on the PG students, research scholar, they have another level of program based on their needs, and they have a specialized information literacy program for the research scholars and the expert or the faculty level students. DULS has also focuses on the different disciplines being served by them, like the information literacy programs specifically meant for the humanities sciences, then the social sciences and the information literacy programs for the science faculty as a whole. At the specialized level, they have also conducted and designed a program for the different disciplines also, like the department of sociology, psychology, economics, and in the field of sciences, they have a program for the department of physics, chemistry, math, biology, like that. Based on the different needs of different types of users and the information they need for pursuing their research work, they have three basic structures of the programs. Assessment and evaluation is an integral part of any information literacy programs being provided by any library for any types of users. So, assessing the programs, the content of the program, methodology used in providing the information literacy program is an important aspect in order to understand what kind of impact the program is having on the users. So, continuous evaluation or systematic evaluation is another part through which the information literacy programs and its success can be determined. University of Delhi information literacy programs are being organized regularly to keep the users updated about the information sources, services and databases of the central library being provided to the users. In order to understand the impact of these information literacy programs on users and the content that has been provided through the programs, users' response are sought in the form of the questionnaire, and these questionnaires are being further analyzed, and based on the analysis of these findings, the programs later on updated, revised and restructured. Group discussions and demonstrations of e-resources by vendors, feedback during and after the workshops and lectures are also sought from the users in order to understand the impact of these kinds of programs. So, since let's see what we have learned from this particular module. The information literacy initiatives of Delhi University Library System is unique in this area, being the first university library to conduct such programs for their users. Information literacy programs designed for the LIS professionals equipped with them for passing the information literacy skills to their users. Information literacy program based on the workshop being provided free to the users, and library information professionals is helping the users and the professionals in enhancing their information seeking skills as well as adding to their enhanced academic output. The users assessment reveals that information initiative is found to be very useful in the scholars and faculty. Since the information literacy programs are not integrated with the course structure of the Delhi University academic programs, the execution and effectiveness of the program is still a challenge for the university library and the librarians.